We're gonna do a song that you heard before.
And it goes a little something like this.
And you're gonna be slow down. Come on. One, and it comes to two, to the three, and pump up the jam, pump it up. Move, move, make your body groove.
Ooh, never be a say well.
Once again, if there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Then you go pump that body. Yes, yes, y'all. You don't stop, Alex, hey, y'all. You know what? Rhyme to the rhythm, come on, feel the rhythm, take out. Look, one of you days, wiggle it, just stop. About DJ, let it spin. Hey, on the track and the track.
Baby, don't hurt me no more.
You got to show me love.
What is love?
Breaking promises. I've had more than my share.
Don't hurt me.
I'm tired of giving my love and getting nowhere.
Don't hurt me.
What I need is somebody who really cares.
Don't hurt me.
I really need a lover that wants to be
Don't
there. It's been so long since I touched a 14 head. Can't put my love on the line. That I hope you understand. Baby, if you want me, you've got to show me love. Words are so easy to say, but you got to show me love.
I don't know. You're not there. I give you my love, but you don't care. So what is right? What is wrong? Give me a sign. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
All right, everyone, and welcome to another mental reset challenge. It is that time, and I am excited for everyone to be here. Let me play with this. So, hello, everybody. My name is David B., and I am here to walk you through one of our favorite, if not our favorite, time of the month, where we're just taking a break out of our regular schedule to level up a little bit, learn some great things, and cover cover some stuff that makes our lives better, our businesses better, helps us make money, connect with our friends and our family more effectively, and become better people all around. So I'm absolutely excited. We've got a great presentation here for you today, so I am going to jump right into it here. So this is the Mental Reset Challenge. And the biggest thing that you really want to keep in mind, you guys have been to events before, and you can only get out of it what you put into it. So if you're here, I know that you want something different, and you're looking for some answers. So this is not the type of event that is for someone who is, a magic button seeker, someone just looking for a quick fix. They just want to flick a button and just be done, because it doesn't work that way. True growth requires effort and commitment, and there really aren't any shortcuts to it. It's also not really going to be for passive listeners. If you're just putting this in the background, you're not really absorbing it. And again, you can only get out what you put in. So just listening is better than nothing. But really, if you can, get out a pen and paper, get a notepad. Let's take some notes today, and let's be actively involved. Sit down, put your headphones in if you need to, and let's actually participate. That's how you get the meaningful change. This also really isn't for anyone who is ready to make excuses. And I don't think that's going to be anybody here, but there are a lot of people who justify inaction, and they'll make as many excuses as they can instead of taking that decisive step. And if that's you, this is not going to be a productive use of your time, because now the focus is on action and not blaming something else. So, who this is for you if you have a level of self awareness where you know that there's something inside of you that isn't being expressed as well as it could. If you have an untapped potential inside of you that should let you achieve greater things in your life and your business, but for some reason it's not happening. If you're ready to break some cycles and end some repetitive patterns holding you back, that's what this is for. And then the big thing is, if you want some actual practical tools that you can use easily in your everyday life, this is the event for you. So this is the exact type of person who needs to be here. You want to be self-aware, ready to break some cycles, and ready to get some practical tools for you. So what we are going to do today, last month for everyone who was here, we went over something called the focus tool. What this did was help you really actualize your goals quite a bit better, and showed you what to focus on. If you weren't here last month, totally fine. You can, one, see the replay, but two, Amanda's going to quickly go back over it to get you up to speed. So you didn't have to be here last month, but that is what we went over. This time, what we're going to go over is something called thought bubbles. So we're going to start with your thought bubbles, and then we're going to actualize that into something else called your focus bubbles. So we're going to use that tool, put it into these bubbles to help you get rid of just incoherency in your business and life, gain more clarity, and even better, create better execution steps. Amanda's going to jump in and give us an amazing presentation on that. And then what we're also going to do is I'm going to show you the exact steps for how to implement all of these things faster, easier, and just in a much more incredible way than you could possibly expect. So if that sounds like what you're here for, you are absolutely in the right spot, and we are going to dive into that today. Now, who am I? For those of you who don't know me yet, I've met lots of you guys already, but if you don't know me, my name is David B. I'm the event coordinator for the Bring More Value team, and we do a number of different events throughout the months and throughout the years. And the Mental Reset Challenge is actually one of my favorites. It leads into something called the Mental Reset Conference, which is much bigger, really great. And then there's a summit at the end of the year as well, where we all come together, celebrate our achievements, and just all the growth that we've had, as well as plan for the next year. So a little bit about me. I've been in the entrepreneurship world for a little over half a decade now, and getting into it, it was hard. There are so many things that you learn and you fail. And I was sitting at I worked in the retail industry before that, and I was sitting at my retail job and kind of reflecting over my failures over the last, 10 years or so. And I realized where my business wasn't working, and I thought it was a business problem, but what it really was a pattern problem. And I wasn't lazy by any means, and the big thing is I wasn't really broke, so I wasn't struggling that much, and I wasn't unmotivated. But no matter how hard I worked, no matter what I was doing, no matter how many books I read, no matter what side hustles I was launching, I just kept ending up right back where I started. I was back at the retail jobs that I hated. I was basically in the same type of apartment. I was dating the same people, and I was having the same mistakes over and over. And then there was just that frustration of, why isn't this working for me? And for a long time, I really did believe that I just needed to work harder. And so I did. I tried getting more tools. I would spend less and less hours sleeping, be working later and later into the night. I would be doing more courses. I would be on more YouTube videos, going to more seminars, and just grinding harder and harder, but nothing changed. And actually, I have been lucky to be in the same circles as Amanda, the Fix It Queen, for quite some time. And one day we were talking, and she actually said something to me that really stuck out. And she said, "David, I think your brain is solving a completely different problem than the problem you think that you have." And so this is when it hit me. It wasn't a business problem, it was a belief system problem. It wasn't my habits that were broken, but it was my identity that was misaligned. And so I was fighting these battles in my external world that were just being lost and getting, discombobulated in my internal world. And that realization is what cracked everything open to me for me. And it really is. It's what led me here. It's what led me to spend more time with Amanda. It's what led me to be part of the Mental Reset Challenge and part of this team. And what you are about to experience today is the exact kind of shift that flipped my life on its head. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling exhausted, if you've been grinding but you're going nowhere, I can assure you that you are not broken. You're just running on an outdated mental operating system. And that's exactly what Amanda is going to be fixing for you today. Now, there's a lot of you guys watching this video. Some of you guys are already part of the VIP program. Some of you are in the Do It Together program. A bunch of others are in the Listen and Learn, just in the educational side. But what you might not realize is the Bring More Value Inc. does way more than you might expect. It's not just seminars and training videos. It's a full business system, and it's actually the ultimate business support system for contractors and service professionals. And it's full of experts in key business areas. And what they do is Amanda and her team can actually come in and fix just about everything in your business. She'll be able to tell you quite a bit more about it, but without the cost of hiring more employees, really. So it's not just another business consulting company. It's a hands-on execution team that works directly on your business, so you don't have to figure all this stuff out alone. And what they do is they have what's called these done on demand departments, where it's someone can actually go in and instead of hiring, a accountant, a social media team, hiring like an executive assistant or a chief operating officer, the done on demand departments do all of this for you without having to shell out 100 grand on different payrolls, right? So whether it is executive coaching, business planning, all of your financial services and bookkeeping, website, mobile design, AI integration, these are the top 5 things that they help with, but it's really, there are so many more. And that's what makes this Bring More Value Inc. significantly different than any other business you've worked with before or any other program that you've gone to. And it's absolutely incredible, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. So what I would like to do is introduce our woman of the hour, the Fix It Queen. She is going to come in here and blow our freaking minds. And if you don't know Amanda already, she is not just a speaker. She is a freaking force of nature. With over 25 years of experience in the trades, tech, and entrepreneur industries, Amanda is literally the go-to strategist when it comes to fixing broken business models. She's great with maximizing profits and bringing clarity from the chaos that you might be experiencing right now. She's actually been featured on CNBC's The Big Idea. She runs multiple companies and has helped countless business owners break through mental roadblocks and finally move forward with confidence. Because tonight isn't just about business, it's about you. And Amanda is going to walk you through a full mental reset that will shift how you think, how you take action in your life and your business. And so get ready, because when Amanda's done with you, nothing is going to be the same. Now, I will bring her on because she is incredible. And let's go. There we go.
Greetings.
Woo! Wow! The crowd goes wild. Woo!
I know. I'm very excited to be here. This is beyond a point of capturing the outcome. And if you've been on my page, you'll notice that I have posted some things regarding your goals versus the outcomes of achieving those goals. Two different sides of the hat. And what I am very excited about today is, after developing and working with our team to achieve our goals, the outcome is finally perpetuating to affect the lives of many, not only in their business, but also in their personal achievements and the clarity they have on the inside of what they want their life experience to be. So I'm very excited for what I get to share with you all today. I continue to be blessed to communicate all of the tools that we've developed, new tools, and as well as share tried and true tools that have been used to help people course correct their mind and their state of being. The Mental Reset Conference, as David has shared with you all, is really an initiative that is a complement to our fractional support and our department's service. And what it really focuses on is you. And last time that we got together a month ago, we did go over the focus tool, and that is a pillar and a cornerstone to understanding the rest of the links for you to connect from your goals to the outcomes. There's some synchronicity that happens there, and I'm just excited to share even more when it comes to the part 2 of our Matter of Mindset course. It is broken out. I had to break it out, guys. We've been doing this for over 4 years. And the more we go over the mental shift that happens in entrepreneurial journey, the more and more we realize that the Matter of Mindset course really is the whole truth. You master that, and all the other things come with more ease, because you're not fighting against your own negative beliefs and the own limitations from what you thought was possible, from variables that no longer exist, that are so far past, and we're just in a different age and time. So yeah, I'm thoroughly excited, David, to continue delivering with ease, clarity, and the ability to bring more value to businesses and also to people, to humans that are just dying to receive what their worth is. And by the time we get through the entirety of these syllabuses, the calculation of that, which is the last course, the compensation side, really does allow people to understand their value in an exchange that they can stand on and stand behind and have confidence in that margin and that price point. And from there, they can fund the rest of their family needs, their personal needs. So yeah, I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed to have you on our team to help us.
Well, I am thrilled to be here as well, and I am excited. I'm going to be over here taking notes like a crazy person along with everyone else in our audience. So take it away and let's do it.
Thanks. I appreciate you, David. Well, it is now you and I. And really, it is I here to help you understand that it really is just you here. It really is just a moment that I get to share intimately helping you unpack the things that might be stunting where you can make the most progress. Today, we're going to review the Matter of Mindset Part 1 in an overview. We're going to look at the focus tool and understand how to leverage it properly. And as you learn where to reach and how to use the tool, we're going to apply it in real time to implementation planning segments that I call thought bubbles, and those will lead into focus bubbles. So that's my goal and outcome for this moment that we are sharing, as I kind of unpack the fact that this now moment is the only moment that matters. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up my deck for you. Add that to the stage. All right. So what we have here is basically part two of the Matter of Mindset. And part 2 is basically, like I said, in the Matter of Mindset course, it has unfolded into having to just chop it up so we can master the tools that are taught in there versus just speed through them and hope, in your planning segments on your own or within our firm with our team, how to actually grab it and use the tool. No longer need to do that, because right now what we're going to do is use the tool in real time. So what tool am I talking about? Well, it's the focus tool. The focus tool is a tool that I developed following some activities in my personal life that led me to not understanding anything with clarity. As we go over that today, we're going to go ahead and just recap the tool itself, and then from there go straight into the bubbles and the journey as to how this tool came to be. And at that, let's take a look at the focus tool. This tool is basically a simple, we'll just call it telescope to where you want to go in your future. So if you're thinking about your planning in your journey, this crosshair is your area to focus on, right? And as we're aiming that, we can kind of mess up where we're going to land, right? We talked about the goal versus the outcome. So this tool helps you kind of course correct the trajectory for that goal to create that outcome. And how it works, let's see, let me pull that back up for you. How that works is combinationally, hopefully you guys can see my little mouse here. We have a crosshair, and we have basically in that hemispheres. We have hemispheres of what I consider the non-physical side or the metaphysical side, and we have the other side of the physical side. The definitions of the metaphysical or the non-tangible side, those are basically formed from an emotion, a feeling, something that you really can't wrap your hands around. But when you understand on this side of the hemisphere, it is what is the cornerstone or the basis to the reality we feel, we see, we touch, we hear, we smell. So that's the other side of this hemisphere tool when we're looking at the separation. And then we have basically going on the lateral base, your positive and your negative. So when you understand basically the timeline being the moving through the moments, we're able to do that and course correct by how we feel. And in the exercise that we went through last month, we unfolded we'll just call it the chain of events that unfold from something that you perceived as real and then you made real. Typically that starts out with a thought or an observation that creates a thought. And from that thought, it'll generate basically a reflection and a space for you to either engage in it or grow it. And as you're in the thoughts and the feeling space on that side of the hemisphere, the opportunity to adjust is on this side. So when we're taking a look at the tool over here, this is where we get to take our goals and we'll formulate them into the way we're going to actually achieve them towards the outcome. So why does it have a loop on this bottom? The loop is on the bottom because should you not be able to maintain a positive side of focus as you go from a feeling to a thought, to a word that leads to an action that develops your outcome, if you aren't able to stay at, we'll even call 50% positivity, what will happen is an eddy and a loop where you're going to experience the same thing, but it's not the same, slightly different. It feels the same, but it shows up differently. And then you go through another loop and you find yourself in a Groundhog Day, but it looks different. The groundhog out of it is the feeling. Okay, so the Groundhog Day, I guess, perspective isn't the truth when it comes to the physical side, because the physical side will have some dynamic change in it. That perpetual never-ending feeling comes from the side of how it feels. And you can hold on to that state and that feeling or that perception about any topic, whether it's personal, professional, marital, dealing with your children. You can hold on to any state and bring that from way back then into right now. And that is what I refer to as bending time, because time doesn't exist when it comes to how you're feeling. And that's where we deal with the trauma of what we go through in our own life that perpetuates our perception that something can't be changed. So if you can follow that thought process around and from there understand that in this focus tool, it is an awareness tool. It's an aperture tool to help you get a hold of this moment and be intentional. And even amidst the challenge of something going not how you planned, something being completely unexpected, you have a free will and choice to power through and actually put on your mental screen what you want to experience, even though what the opposite of it is what is prevalent in your life. There has to be a sustain. Okay, so David B talked about that, and I, as I was listening to him, I was like, I'm going to hit on that. I'm going to hit on the fact that this is meant for people that have sat on the sideline and are tired of going through the wash and are now ready to dig in and to choose a different path. A habit isn't a habit. It's a choice that you're aware of. And I can't remember which where I picked that up from, but it's very much the truth. When we have a pattern in our life, the sustain of it is a choice. And we can use words that will disempower us from controlling the next direction and evolutionary step. And that's the crazy part. We can get ourselves into our own formula of words and also echo the words that we receive if we're not very present as to where we're going with our participation of our time, even though where we are is not where we want to be. And a lot of times we can pick that apart by having a statement and creating a pause and allowing yourself to pull that word or that statement out and really kind of look at it and figure out where its root came from. Is this yours? If it does, there's a welcoming and it feels like it fits. If it's somebody else's or it goes against what you want in your goal that will result to the outcome, you're going to have some internal turmoil and it won't feel right. It'll be like wearing your left shoe on your right foot, uncomfortability where it's functional, but there's something going on there. So if we're able to get a hold of that concept of choosing to perpetuate a state long enough where it becomes, that's when you get to experience, you will see it after you believe it versus, the other way around. Or maybe I said that backwards, right? Some people need to see it to believe it. No, that will perpetuate you never seeing the things you want and only ever creating the things that you don't want, because that's your focus. You're focusing on, let's just say, this, and just like anything else, you're going to see more of that. You buy a new car, you're like, oh, and all of a sudden everybody has that car. There's just basically an activation of awareness that happens in your consciousness when you align to that, and it puts you on a bead and a fast track to seeing more and more and more of it. A great exercise that is done in a lot of different formats is observation. And if I were to do that with you right now, I would ask you basically to look all the way around and search for anything red. And we would do that for a period of time and give you some time to go ahead and create a short-term memory of, oh, I'm going to pass a test. I'm going to hit all the red things. I'm going to hit all the red things. And then I say, close your eyes. Tell me what's green. Oh, shoot. Right? We're primed. We are primed for the things that we are primed for. And when you're aware of that, you can now choose that path of priming on purpose and perpetuate it, compound it with a consistency. Okay. That's the other side of this focus tool that we went over in brevity, is it does take a perpetuation to maintain your positive thoughts on that upper frame, along you moving through things that are unknown, unforeseen. Let's say you're starting a new job, a new position, or winning a new client, something new is happening. If you don't have, let's just say, a logic for it, you're going to go into a disorientation between your two hemispheres of your brain, because you won't have a way to automate some of the execution. You literally will actually cause yourself to be even slower because you haven't practiced. And that's the fun side. So we just went over that in one of our other discussions as I was talking with one of our clients in the Do It Together program. The automation that happens as we get to a point of mastery, it takes a compound of time. So if I want to be a master in my trade, I got to do 10,000 hours. That perpetually is, 8 years of time. So we can't shortcut this. And I'm so glad David B touched base on the fact that if you are looking for an easy button, nah, that's not here. What you will get here is an easier path to deal with the pressure of adjusting your state intentionally because of the things that you want to become as the outcome from the goal that you've set. How do you close that gap, guys? So that's the focus tool in a nutshell, to help you understand, kind of using the crosshairs to understand the hemispheric approach between the quantum side of mechanics of the we'll just call it the space that holds all the matter, that when we get to the other side of our focus long enough, it will then go into an atmospheric pressure and become something. So think about, like, in the world, we have gravity. And so we don't have to think about it. It's automatic, because in the bubble, there is a point that is drawing the focus into the center. And this is going to lead straight into our focus bubbles. I'm so excited. So as we do that, the outside, right? So if I say, okay, this side of the hemisphere over here on your physical reality side, that is in atmosphere. That's inside the Earth atmosphere. There's a gravitational, let's just say, tractor beam that automates the reality and the expression of it. But when we step out of atmosphere and we go into, let's just say, space, and we're on the outside of that, that's where things have the ability to take whatever shape and shift and or order that is necessary before it crosses over this permeable point of gravitationally becoming something that's real from something you were thinking. So that's the focus tool in a nutshell, as I share with you a overview of what we went through last month. And as we're using this tool, we also taught an overlay practice that I labeled the 3 Ds. And the 3 Ds, they're basically just what I consider anchor points for you to remember as an overlay to this focus tool. If you make a decision every day, you will move 1 degree if you stay above the line of neutrality into positivity. That's it. One day, every day, just today, make one decision, whatever that might be, and watch how fast you adjust what is popping out right in front of you. Because time is a measurement tool, so we can coordinate as autonomous and as well as wanting to be connected. So time is time for a purpose. But when it comes to creating your dreams into a goal that becomes the outcome that you designed, time doesn't exist. It's all about what I consider a synchronicity and an alignment of your effort to do the things that are hard. It's not going to be easy, but it will be with ease when you understand that it's not going to be easy. There are ways to adapt different things to help you move through each moment. And when you get captured, what I consider in a eddy, in a thought lock, and something outside your bubble. So if you notice here, I have a Wonder Woman display. I believe very much there's a Wonder Woman circle. And if you can touch it physically, you can deal with it in your reality. If it's outside that zone, I'm going to teach you another little overlay tool that'll help you drop it like a bad habit, even if it's something that's very important to you. So you could let that weight go and be uberly present in this now moment, because now is where we make all of the things happen. Now is the point of focus. And when we can get that outlined accurately, the trajectory of our future changes automatically just because we made a decision to commit to 1 degree of adjustment and compound that to even a bad habit. Maybe you have a bad habit. You can turn bad habits into good habits because a habit's a habit. It's the precursor or postcursor that makes the adjusted state. And I say postcursor because a lot of people's postcursor is to beat them up for the fact that they're now aware that they have a habit. Well, you know what? It's a success for you to even be aware. And please understand that much like a torpedo with momentum in the ocean, just because it turns its propellers off and realizes it's aware doesn't actually get it to a halt or a stop. There is a momentum. So with any sort of habit, you're going to have that. But we want to take that and we want to outline it to a ramp from this perpetual forward motion of that bad habit, and just basically stack on something that you do want to integrate into your life. And you'll switch lanes while moving forward versus having to come to a hard stop, go to AA, stand up, admit that you fucked up. And no. That's so far over. It's so far over, guys. Oh, and I wasn't planning on sharing this one, but time. We just talked about time. It's a tool, much like a lot of tools we use to leverage to get us to where we're going. But here's the fun part about that. If you're able to process it as basically a non-permanency, you can play with how it results in your life, and you're able to basically have freedom to move about the cabinet in any direction. You're actually no longer grounded to gravity, and you have the weight of the world shifted off of you. So hopefully that makes some sense to you guys. And as we move over into the focus tools and how to use it, the key things to help us keep our sights and our focus are quite simple. We get to focus on what brings us joy. We get to have thoughts and feelings that feel good. We can sit there and hold thoughts and feelings that feel bad to no end, right? We can sit there and focus on the things that we're afraid of, things that aren't really comfortable, whatever. We get to choose that thought and that feeling. So if we ever find ourselves just in that anxious lockup mode or dealing with the unknowns, that's a point of awareness that you can choose to just pick a different thought, pick a different memory, pick a future memory that you want to experience and go there and remember it as if it's now and have passed and you're actually recalling it. These are some of the fun tricks that we get to play in the matrix of designing by our quantum side of programming, and we get to choose that. So thoughts and feelings that feel good. The other thing that we get to focus on is very much what is working out. A lot of times nothing is working out, or so we think. The truth is there's a lot of things we are working out. We are just uber highlighted on all the things not working out. And when that happens, it compounds a degree opening to us seeing more and more things not working out. So swinging that pendulum back to the other side, what's one thing that's working out? One thing. If you can't find one thing, I'm going to give you the secret to it. It's our breath. If you can't find anything to be thankful for, understand that your breath and your ability to hear it and feel it is your next chance. Because without a next breath, there is not an opportunity to course correct. So anytime things are chaos, as long as I'm still breathing, so you're saying I got a chance, right? Like, and I taught this in our last live stream. That breath is your permission of worthiness. The fact that you're here, the breath is the proof. And you can use the breath to calibrate what exactly you want to experience on that emotional side, because you can't pick up an emotion if you don't match your synchronicity of breath with it, right? So if you think about what kind of breathing pattern you pick up when you're stressed out, a lot of times that's what I consider shallow, short, and or hold breaths, where you're not even breathing enough, but it's almost like a slow little bellow only from the upper part of your lung capacity. And you're doing nothing but causing yourself to basically blow in a bag, but inside your body. And you go into more and more panic. You're depleting yourself of oxygen, right? Let's just say you're laughing. Those are deep, deep draws that expand your diaphragm and open up the sides of your body. And when we talk about that type of laughter, that triggers to your brain different neural paths that reflect your ability to be open and now receive, and that unleashes another state. So that's a breath pattern. Ha ha ha. That's a long out. And so everybody has a different pattern, but if you can synchronize and correlate your breath patterns to the emotions you're experiencing, you're going to be more in tune to picking up a choice of when to choose to breathe differently. And typically that also matches with your body. Your breath and your body, well, they're pretty much collectively tied together, right? And as you take a deeper breath or you step into a different state, you actually change how you're standing or how you're sitting. You know, if you're depressed and things like that, you tend to bring that in, and you tend to reduce the amount of volume that you could breathe. So as I share that with you guys, it's because what is working out? We're alive. We won the life lotto. And if you were in our mental reset challenge part 1, the life lotto is it's the best lotto you could ever have. There's no lotto that will ever be better than the life lotto. And when you wake up in the morning and you are able to acknowledge that first breath, before you let life get in your way, acknowledge it. Because guess what? You won the lotto. There's over 1 million people that did not get that opportunity this morning. And in a compound, as the day unfolds, continue to not receive that next breath of opportunity. So if you are unable to find something to be joyful for, well, shit, be thankful for your breath and the fact that you are able to make a different choice, or throw your entire plan out the window and start over. Reset it, right? That's what we're here to do. We're in a mental reset. Outside of what's working out, the other fourth thing is nothing is forever. Everybody that I know changes. I don't know anybody that's the same. And if they're the same, it's not that they're the same. They're actually choosing that state, even though their growth point is beyond it. So nothing is forever. And focusing on what you want to have will actually bend that gap and actually close it. So there is no gap, and you're receiving things the moment you're thinking of them in the right state, in the right calibration. The faster, because time isn't there, your alignment will happen, and you'll start basically magnetizing. And then from there, you must be very mindful of your thoughts. So from there, everything that is number 5, everything that's happening for you, because nothing's happening to you. And that's going to be something that we probably unearth further in the curriculum. But there's some very, very simple wisdom that I share with you guys, and foundation underneath these statements. And the 6th tip, which I shared with you already pertaining to the Wonder Woman circles, how can I release what's outside of my reach? I got a tool for you for that. How can I make best use of what's in my reach? There are tools for that. So we're going to go over some of those tools right now as we deal with what is next. Setting our sights, how can I? And the bonus is the worry minutes. The worry minutes we did not teach, and we aren't going to fully expand into today, because that is going to be a deeper dive during our conference. But the worry minutes are very much your permission to worry. But dedicating it in a block of time. And by freeing ourselves up, we're able to then stay focused in this moment. So in a simple overview for the worry minutes, I don't care, pick a time. Right now, everybody that's watching or will be watching in their replays and live streams, guys, I don't really care what time it is. Pick a time. Write it down right now. If you have a scratch piece of paper, what time is it? What time do you want? While you guys think about that, I'm going to share with you my time when my mentor, Pat Scott, gave me this tool and helped me master it was 4:03. He said, pick a time. So mine's 4:03. Now, what do we do with that time? Well, from that time, we put a 10-minute buffer. So my time is 4:03 to 4:13. Start the clock. I sit there and I worry 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 and I think about all the things. But how did that work? It worked because throughout the day, as I got to things that I couldn't control, I permitted myself to throw them into my worry minutes and keep a log of all the things that I know are important, but I can't change. I can't do. It's outside my atmospheric effect. And I allow myself to acknowledge that it's important to me. And I use the worry minute time block to release my need to split my energy from right now to deal with that very important thing, allowing me to recollapse into singularity, into this now focused bubble. So that is a bonus tool, and we'll teach a little bit more in terms of the implementation of it during our conference. And brings us to basically the next point of my fun sharing and journey, guys. I had shared with you guys a few different things in my last challenge where I went over my rollover accident and kind of that effect in my mind, and the fact that I was like 10-second Tom, except for it's more like 2-second Manda, and I couldn't remember short-term stuff. There was after my accident, it was very challenging. I was stuck in a state of feeling helpless because I couldn't navigate from my shop to my house or vice versa, and it got compounded. Because in that moment and time period, that phase of time, it was a hardship because I was running service business at a scale of 3 divisions, and we had multiple technicians out in the field, and I actually had no ability to fix it. I couldn't even log into my own phone. I didn't have the face thing yet, so I couldn't remember anything. Couldn't navigate. Couldn't get into my financial accounting tool. I couldn't, it was really challenging. And I had many things happen that I didn't see coming. There are a lot of people that were surrounding me that the moment they knew that Amanda checked out, they checked in to my checking book and they checked in to my resources. And I had no knowledge that anybody was doing anything. And one of my experiences that led me to mastering this next teaching tool of our thought and our focus bubbles came because during that transition, guys, I couldn't make this shit up if I wanted to. During that transition, rollover accident, this timing on this screen right now was hellacious in terms of what I didn't know as an entrepreneur. Okay. I had just gotten back from a vacation, the first one I was ever able to take with my spouse at the time from our business success, right? So we took our first ever hiatus, came back to our company under full audit and review. So when I got back, that was a whole nother challenge. And as I'm navigating that aspect, we had a migration of our offices. So this is all like same exact time period, rollover accident. I got back from, the vacation thing, got sparked for the audit situation, had my right-hand person empty my password keeper and basically make it so I couldn't get in. And I can't remember, right? I just got the accident. And all because I didn't want to fund that business plan that they had. It just didn't make sense. So instead, they just try to stump my business. And right before that happened, I'm going through the audit. So I can't log into my books. I can't do stuff. And let's go ahead and throw a cherry on top and a little drizzle of some powdered sugar for that. I also was moving my offices from our back shops to our front shops. And Comcast stepped into my life. And they caused me to literally go comatose and want to take a dirt nap. I couldn't handle it. I was going through so much. I am in the middle of audits. I'm in the middle of, honestly, locked out of every device, every account, everything I could possibly try to get into. My marriage is suffering because I had experienced a loss and a hardship that was more than I had planned. And as I had, during this time period, thought that I was with child, and it didn't work out. Things have a way of just crushing. So go back to moving my offices. Comcast decided that it would be better to cancel all my lines instead of transfer them. So the agent wanted to make a bigger commission. And I called and I said, I need to move my 4 existing hard phone lines from these back unit to the front unit. We're just doing a transfer. Not really complicated in terms of the wiring and logic of it. We already had all of the data drops there. So unbeknownst to myself, they went through 3 different contracts through my email. And it got to the point where I was like, what is this? I just need these lines moved and confirmed. I need a date. The contract basically canceled all of my corporate lines and gave me 4 new ones. When he did that to earn a bigger commission, he basically put our team and our business out of business because our 303 Carefree phone number was now, you have reached a number that has been disconnected and no longer in service. Literally all of our call center functions gone. Overnight, we went out of business so somebody could make a bigger commission on a new contract versus a transfer contract. And unfortunately, the liability was they were crediting us our bill until they retrieved those numbers. And it took 8 months. It took 8 months for them to do right. But I was still stuck in a disorder. So what happened next was me processing, going from running full things to having an adjusted state of no reach to my resources, no support, and having my bank accounts basically tapped into and not being able to feel what was going on. It was very scary. So my experience came because I didn't know what I didn't know. And my mastery over time came because I was open to learning a new approach, and mentors saw that and they helped polish and give me fundamental labels that I wasn't aware of. And as I worked through that, I developed a tool called Broken on Purpose because I realized it wasn't an accident. Like it wasn't. And even in this moment now, and I think about where I landed and how I'm here in this now moment with you guys, everything has a purpose, and it's pushed out from way back when we were having certain feelings and certain desires. And when what we want, when what we desire matches basically a certain pool of our belief that we deserve it, bing, there's no time. It just happens. So the Broken on Purpose tool is a worksheet to help you understand your your focus tool, and that being a very present moment of awareness between the polar states of non-physical to physical, positive to negative. And now we're going to apply this to a worksheet that I call thought bubbles. And it's developed because we are broken on purpose. And it's our reflective state that allows us the ability to realize why we were broken. Or I like to refer to it as tempered for the things that we've designed. And in my journey, totally sidetracked, in my journey, if I would have been told all the things that I had to go through, oh my God, to be sitting right here in this moment, you bet your ass I would have been like, hell no. Please, God, no, please. Those adversity tales are shared in my Tales from the Fix-It Queen volumes, where I do go ahead and unearth the truth, right? Of, oh my God, all the things I had to break through in my limiting beliefs and my mindset. And as I developed this Broken on Purpose thought bubble tool, it very much is tied to the perpetual state of us always moving. There's always dynamicism that is in play. So nothing ever stays. And as we do that, we can, instead of basically thinking in a two-dimensional plane of time, we can actually turn it into a three-dimensional sphere of adjusted state as we're moving forward. So if I'm going to make a spiral like this, right? And if you're looking at me sideways like this, and I'm going to make the spiral, that's great. That's how most people think. But when we add a certain degree to it, all of a sudden that spiral turns into something that has motion moving forward, right? So this is where we look at the solar planets and like kind of how that works, and the expansion of our solar system and our galaxy. It isn't still, right? It has a forward motion, but it's barreling forward like this as it gets to a point. So that's basically how we are moving through our actual life. And as I share this tool with you, let's see here, pull that up. The thought bubble process is put in a way that allows you to basically get out of the spiral, that allows you to focus all the way to your future on negative things and make what I consider an adjusted state or thought, because you have a reflective calibration that happens from you being pulled out of what hurts. Okay. We can't think straight when we have an immense amount of pain. But what we can do is separate ourselves from it and then adjust to, let's just say, label things in a way to desensitize and or disconnect us from the things that we thought were painful, but that were really helpful. So what does that appear like? That appears like the first thing we do is we have a problem and we're like, oh my God, this problem, and we need a solution. So it's like, boom, I need a solution. And then what happens? We execute the solution. And from there, this is like the first dip down of like, can I just go from A to B, right? No, of course not. You're going to basically get a solution, and it's going to create a disruption in your homeostasis of how you're naturally doing things. So your disruption state will compound again. And this is where I can say you can get a hold of the circular pattern and move it into a perpetually motion forward pattern when you understand that the disruption is just another point of clarity, that you are able to create some discernment. A lot of D words, right? Disruption creates a pause that allows you to get clear on your discernment and your direction, so you don't keep automatically spiraling in a tractor beam on the things you don't want. And as you identify from the more clarity point, that awareness state, that what you thought was going to work actually created a disruption, it actually kind of messed some things up, we can sit there and we can beat ourselves up like over and over again. Because dude, when we were over here with the problem, that first solution thought pop was like, it's mint, dude, we're good. And when it doesn't work out, man, we could stay in this disruption bubble for a long time, and it can just grow and grow. We can just sit there and beat ourselves up to the point where we literally are immobilized. We are in a state of arrest, and we're like stuck there Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Well, believe it, it's done. Get over it. Now what? Now we have more clarity on what not to do. That helps us outline some other options of what we can do. And as we stack these thought bubbles, they become a true focused bubble by the time we go through this, what I consider a journey of you having a problem that leads you to thinking of a solution. And when you execute it, it's going to move you through the next step of where the solution truly lives. So where the solution truly lives is, my slide deck got a little jammed. It's supposed to say purpose with the E over here, but it basically is going to lead you from disruption to more clarity. And then it's going to lead you to a solution that is follow through or executable. Before that first thought bubble out here, right? So if we're taking a look at that thought bubble over here, we thought, hey, that's the thing. That's the winner chicken dinner. No, it's not. We're going to go through some self-corrected course and some reflective course before we get to a solution that truly is a fit on a purpose that will become the let's just say the end result that you thought initially was the solution over here. So as we follow through, we're going to basically excrete and or interject or infuse more value. And as we infuse the more value, that's when the true gemstone comes as to your true worth, and how we can chop that up in our formulas and compensation course to give you a common denominator of exchange. So if we take a look at this truly is just a move through your life. And your life is dynamic. And it's always barreling and perpetuating forward. Even if, let's just say, I decided to turn around and go backwards in my life, you can't go backwards on this physical planet faster than the trajectory of us moving forward. So I'm going to share with you this, right? No time. There's no time. There's literally no time. All there is your focus and you aligning to the things that you want to a point where you believe that you will, should, or do have them. And I say do because that's the truth. I do have all of the things. I'm just right now in that growth and receptivity of it. So when I was 2 years old, I did not have a thought that, let's just say, when I'm 42 years old, 40 years later, that I was going to have to worry about, let's just say, having food or having a resource, having a job, having opportunity. I didn't think about that. But I was very present then. And as I release that aspect of me, I went through this 40-year timeline where I'm now 42, and everything that I have in this now moment was already waiting for me when I was 2 years old. If you can wrap your head around that thought, because everything is right now. And when I was 2, I didn't think about the things that I didn't want. I thought about basically as a 2-year-old, all the things, you're growing. I had a whole, honestly, jacked up experience on that, but you'll learn that in an adversity story that I share later. But just know that I've always been the size and the capacity that I've been. I'm just growing into it. And at 2 years old, I didn't have the draw or the need that I have as a 42-year-old. And I didn't worry along the way that when I got here, I wasn't going to be in this shape. Now, along the way, I had some dysmorphia, and that came from other people spitting things in my head and telling me that I wasn't capable and telling me things were impossible and loading me up with the weight of their doubts and the weight of what they failed to take action on, and that they have a hold of regret that they're trying to share with others. Oh, you don't do that. I didn't succeed, so you might not. Don't try too hard. Because, when I did it, and they'll share with you all of their fears that led to the failures, but the failures aren't failures. They really are just a point of disruption for us to be aware so we can have more clarity and we can follow the rest of our dreams through to a point of us having the outcome we wanted. Okay. So as we are understanding that aspect, I am excited that the rest of this exercise is now able to be matched to your focus tool. If you haven't received your focus tool, please reach out to our team. We did mail some out, and in my dyslexia, I got 2 retrieved back. You guys know who you are. I'll get those resent out to you guys. But we're going to basically continue to fortify you with as much as we can, because in the end, it's a matter of mindset. And in this part 2, it truly is more of a commitment. It's a matter of your commitment to do something different and to try something new versus continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. It doesn't work that way. You have to change at least 1 degree, make 1 decision for 1 day, compound that stuff, and watch your presence become this beautiful world that you never thought you would get. Because honestly, you didn't build it yet. That's what I really wanted to share with you guys is the point of this 2-part compound is very much empowering you with the painter's brush to curate a canvas that is very specific. And if you see something on there, just know there's canvas correction that can be made by your choice to focus on what you do want to flourish, what you do want to call more of. And I say call because call is what we do here. We don't chase on this planet. It's impossible to chase, guys. It's impossible to chase things. And if we do, we don't understand how to stand in a point to draw it in, to call it in, to resonate it in, because we are on Earth. We are in an atmosphere, and gravity is the precursor and the physical expression that proves the law of attraction works. The law of attraction is misunderstood, and the secret behind it we will share in our full mental reset course and our conference event. But just know that because gravity is automatic, as is the law of attraction, because we're in the same rules of engagement within an atmosphere. And in this atmosphere, there is a deep pull to a cause in order to create things in a great substance, because we're on this side of thinking, feeling, hearing, smelling, touching, and we desire it so deeply that we have crossed that barrier so we can experience all the degrees of ourselves. And that's what I have for you in this live stream for our part 2, before we get into priming you in the next steps of getting ready for our conference, guys. That is going to be enormous. I'm going to bring David B back on here in just a second, but sharing with you guys, this is basically all it is an appetizer. You had a couple little appetizers, but the Mental Reset Conference is going to go over a full syllabus overview, and we are going to touch base on every single course in a way to give you the 100,000-foot view of understanding, while we throughout the rest of the year dive deeper into adaptation, implementation, and basically mastery. There is a true process in this planet, in this world, that allows adoptive states to become automatic, right? When we first started driving, we didn't know. We had to be more aware. When we're 50 years old, there's a little bit of, oh, shoot, how did I get here? How did I get here? Well, you were on autopilot. Oh, I got on autopilot. We say that all the time. So if you can understand that aspect, what we're going to do is we're going to set on autopilot your positive trajectory towards the receptivity of the outcome. We have the goal. Now we're just bridging that. We're doing a jumper. Beep, beep, beep. So I will drag David B back on here on stage. Boom, boom, boom.
Woo. Excellent stuff. I loved it. I actually want to go over 2 things that you said that really jumped out to me.
Yeah.
There's one when you were going back over the focus tool. I loved how you said that there are some people in the world who need to see things before they can believe them. And what that does is it essentially makes it so they will never achieve those things that they want. Because if you have to see it first before you can believe in it, you can't get it, right?
Yep. Oh, I lost him in the stream. He's going to join us back. But I think where he was going with that was that I call it basically flipping the magnets. Okay. If we flip the magnets and we need to see it before we believe it, try to push it together. Oh, you're not going to push it together. It's literally impossible to push it together. And that analogy of flipping the magnets and trying to force them is the theory of you need to see it first to believe it. If you think, David, when you just brought that up, I was like, duh, we walk in and we have an experience and it's designed by somebody else and we think it's real. No, it was just like I walked into Chipotle and whoever designed the store decided I would walk over here like this and stand here and do this. We can actually develop and change the order of our participation. And that takes you believing it on your mental screen. So I'm going to caveat that to say those that need to see it before they believe it, I have a shortcut for you. Use your mental screen to understand what's in your mind and what you project onto it in your imaginative state is the truth. And you compound the sustain of that and you'll perpetuate to see it. First, you must see it to see it. If you're really going to play that reverse polarity, David, man, if you must see it before you see it, and then see it. Maybe that's another way to help them adjust, flipping those magnets to closing that gap.
Absolutely. I love it. The other big one, and I see this with clients all of the time as well, that you said is so often we get stuck and then we feel like, and it's happened to me, absolutely, where I feel like nothing is going right. Nothing is working. And you get into that like shame spiral and then you start just being frustrated and then things get worse and worse and worse because you're just stuck in that mindset. Right. And what you said is, find one thing that's going well. And so even if you feel like there's nothing going well, just remember that you have that breath.
Most people are like, curse the breath, I'm here. Well, just the fact that you can do that is the true blessing. It's that is the gift. And at some point you'll come back to like, oh, that was a little extreme. And then you'll get using your breath for good things again.
Yep. And the one thing you said is that breath is the sign because you're breathing. It's the proof that you're worthy. It's the proof that you will reach those goals. And I loved it. I love it. Well, you had hinted at the conference, and what I would love to do is kind of go over exactly what that's going to look like in those 3 days coming up next week.
Yes, I'm super excited, guys. We are working night and day round the clock. It is fun. So David B., since you are our conference coordinator, course curator, fun, keeping us basically there. Guys, this is a double Dutch situation in terms of what our firm and our departments do to serve our client base. And hopefully those that are watching that are in Listen and Learn or just getting a whiff of what this is, get to experience in full board. But we were doing everything in all ways. We dealing with, number one, we have huge tax deadlines in this particular month and leading. So we're dealing with a number of clients that are dealing with compliance and getting stuff ready. We're dealing with WordPress optimized site. And when I say optimized, it's meant to leverage you to where you're going in your, I guess, alignment to your client base. We're working with people changing the structure of their business and the way they're charging because the way they're doing it is undervaluing them. We're working with clients that are adapting new technologies or actually having our tech team curate and build them custom tools because guess what? Templates and they only go so far before you really want to separate yourself and have a tailored process that supports the seamless implementation. So we're doing all those things on all sides. We're anywhere. I mean, yesterday, our team was basically hanging TVs and running cables. Today, we're dealing with banks and basically opening up certain things to give clarity in the reporting tools that some clients didn't know they could do. So any way we can infuse you with more value and knowledge to empower you to make a clearer choice, that's what we're doing here. And this is basically the prequel to it already being done. And I say that tongue in cheek, David, because you said there's no easy button. The easiest button to push is realizing that we got to do it together. We're a communal organization, an organism in terms of humans. And the moment we stop wearing all of the weight ourselves, we get to be the value that we were meant to be. Yeah.
And that's exactly right, because the easy button is having a team. The more you can have people help and go through this, doing it alone is hard. And so essentially what we're going to be doing is, let me make sure we're in the right spot here. Give me a second. Sorry.
Even if we're not, we're going to get to it.
So, and people have gone through this, they've heard your message, and there really are, just like you said, there's two choices. What we can do is you can either go through it alone, or you can fast track your way to that success. And there are benefits to doing it alone, right? Especially a lot of the people on here are very determined people. They're full of grit. They're full of internal strength. And doing it alone helps increase that. When you do it alone, you get to research and learn a lot more things. You know, there's nothing wrong with expanding your knowledge base. And when you do it alone, you are fully in control of not just the successes, but also the failures. So you have complete and total accountability and control of the situation. The problems with it are doing it alone is going to be a lot more time consuming. You know, it can be a lot more overwhelming because there is so much to learn. There is so much to do. And a lot of you guys are working in your business, and the business is what you're passionate about. But social media marketing, creating websites, you know, accounting, taxes, none of that stuff is your passion. Your passion is the business. So it gets overwhelming when you are doing it alone. And there's a lot of trial and error when you do things by yourself, which means you're wasting time, you're wasting money, and you're wasting resources and energy. It's expensive to invest in things that don't work. It's expensive to try stuff that doesn't work. So there are pros, but there are some cons. If you're going to do it with a fast track, using a team, you're going to get faster results. You get proven systems that actually work. In 2025, we live in the craziest time in history because we have access to all of the information out there. And people have been successful doing exactly what you're trying to do. And there are proven systems that get you there. But it's a lot of trial and error if you're doing it by yourself to find the right system, right? So having an expert team to, you know, look at what you're doing, pinpoint your goals even better than you can do it by yourself is absolutely invaluable. And that's why it is the fast track. The cons to it are you do have to still be accountable. You have to be accountable not just to yourself now, but to other people, and other people are going to be dependent on you as well. You can't have excuses anymore. One of the things is if you have a proven system and a team to help you, a lot of people thrive and they get a lot of validation from saying, hey, I tried all of this stuff and it doesn't work. Or this external thing caused me to fail, or it's someone else's fault that I didn't get the result that I was trying to get. When you have a team that knows what they're doing, those excuses kind of go away, and that can be a little scary sometimes for a lot of people. And there is an investment, you know, it's going to cost money either way, but you can either waste money with trial and error, or you can invest in a proven system that makes things more efficient for you, right? So what I would like to do, with everyone's permission, is I would love to invite you to the Mental Reset Conference. And if you'll give me a couple minutes, I would love to just kind of go over exactly what that's going to look like. And the Mental Reset Conference is packed full of keynote speakers, expert teaching, and it, like Amanda said, it's going to cover absolutely everything. It's not just an event, but it's a complete done-for-you implementation system full of expert guidance. Expert guidance, dedicated teammates helping you, implementation support, and fractional services. So day one of the Mental Reset. So before you can scale your business, you need that clarity, confidence, and a success-focused mindset. So we're going to help you break through all of those limiting beliefs that hold you back, clearing that mental fog so you can make bold moves and gain control of your focus and energy. You've got to get your mind right. And because, like me, in the story that I shared at the beginning, there's so much that we are so ingrained in that we don't even realize. And so sometimes it takes just, taking a step back, having someone else analyze it really, really helps give you clarity for something that should be obvious, but isn't. And so day one is not about motivation, but it is about transformation. Day two is going to be your business overhaul. We're not just teaching the fundamentals. It's restructuring the entire operation for maximum efficiency and profits. So we're going to talk about marketing that converts without selling, automating those systems for growth, the SOP, creation and management strategies. What does SOP stand for?
The standard operating procedure.
Standard operating procedure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so setting up the standard operating procedure so it's repeatable and scalable, really. And then the whole financial planning and compensation models. Day three is, and by the end of day one, you're going to have a business that's structured, automated, and ready to scale. Day three is the most important part. So it's taking everything from days 1 and 2 and then implementing it, building the business strategy, optimizing the systems, setting up the automations, and creating that revenue boosting model. You're going to get that fully executed marketing plan, a business operations system, financial and compensation models that ensure profitability, which I think is what Amanda is the best at, and support from the experts on exactly what to implement, how to implement it right then and there. And then the ticket holders also get a dedicated team to support you to make sure everything is done right. So this is if there's only one thing you do in 2025, it is this Mental Reset Conference. This is how you're going to get that business that finally works for you instead of you working for it. And really, Amanda has the team to make it happen. With execution and focus, we're success-oriented. We're always driving it towards you being successful. There are systems in place for you to do that with sustainable growth. Being accountable, and that's the biggest thing, is you have people accountable to you and you are accountable to them. That is the fastest, most efficient way to follow through on your objectives instead of just getting lost in those theoretical ideas. And this is going to get results. So nothing is guaranteed, of course. You do have to put the work in, you do have to fulfill your side of it, but it is going to give you progress faster than just about anything you've seen. Walking away with completed tasks, empowering you to see that progress instead of just writing down lists of stuff to do later. So what I thought, actually, Amanda, if you want, you could talk about some of the trainers who are going to be speaking at the event.
I definitely was thinking, I was like, oh man, guys, but wait, guys, but wait, there's more. Okay, there's more. And what do we mean by there's more? Well, there actually is more. And that is your entire member resource portal. It's the shortcut. It contains all of the fast links that set you up for success and give you access to your departments on demand. You have quick links that get you in compliance. If there's something going on that we need to make you aware of, you have the ability to book your implementation sessions, your strategy sessions, download the best and most valuable performance tool for your service business. It is our Track It Pro contractor software. We are wonderfully adapting businesses to a profit of 25% in their net order. What does that mean? It means typically most businesses are not hitting that profit line, and our tool gives you the clarity to basically adjust that and make a standard practice profitability that allows you to have enough margin to retain. Our tools help automate that and empower you with data so you can make data-driven decisions and pull your emotions out of it, because your dysmorphia can be completely off. From there, you also have access to Mr. Michael Dent. He is part of our resource chapter and one of the mental reset speakers and trainers, one of our mind reset trainers. Michael Dent is an addictions counselor that has decades of experience working with trauma, challenge, addiction. His proficiencies were dealing in the prison systems and helping truly assist humans going from the worst of the worst. And I'm talking the worst of the worst, the murderers, the rapists, all of those things. And then from there, moving them over into an adjusted state so they could achieve their dreams and get the desired outcome. He is right here, just in a quick link. He is literally in your wheelhouse, along with all of our shared resources across general administration, dispatch, call center, marketing. Marketing has a few wheelhouses. It can basically be what we call inbound or outbound, and in terms of messaging. It basically has a calibration to your plan. When we do the workshop, our done and do workshop, it is planed together to leverage and like an airplane basically lift up, because it's designed to go under and then create lift. So there's a lot of things in our resources that are available to you, and you have access to watch all of the replays right in your resource portal. When you click into there, you are going to be able to access all of the coursework that is in this. But as we go through the year, it'll set you up for the links that'll drive you straight to these trainings. And what we have for you is a simple place and space for you to look at those trainings, as well as reach past video updates. And past video updates, those are what I call CEs, above and beyond the curriculum. This is stuff that's not in the syllabus. This is stuff that's information that is relevant right now and available to you in your resource portal. And we'll go over things that are dynamic, that aren't part of the coursework in a standard practice or fundamental awareness. So this is one of the things that I say to, oh man, like if you aren't in onto your resource portal, please understand that this is part of it. You aren't buying a conference or a ticket. You are buying your future, or should I say you're investing in your future with ways that you could access implementation with ease, because we've been there, we've done that, and we got you. And it's really fun when we understand how it all works, because as you mentioned before, a lot of times people are needing some help. So in our challenge, we've curated trainers that are specific for the information you want to know, or that you've asked for, that you that you didn't need to know, but you've desired to understand, right? We have no words. So first up on the block, you get me. I am the fix-it queen, right? I am a fixer of things. I am a fixer of businesses and marketplaces. And most importantly, I am a fixer of the human experience that we design from our minds. And that turns into a true executable plan that ties to a profit. Everything that I do with such passion. And all the things that you don't like to do in your business, it's what our team loves to do. And next to me, you have Jim Rhodes. Dr. Jim Rhodes is new to our circuit. He actually came in at the beginning of the year when I attended my own growth event, if you will. And I met Jim Rhodes, and he helped me understand some available technology when it comes to nutritional efficiency. So we're dealing with the mind here. And the mind doesn't work if it's underpowered or under fortified, right? You can't, the building blocks that are making the tissues of your body matter. And what Jim Rhodes brings in is, as he is a world-renowned biochemist and nutritionist, he has a formula and a line of nutrition products that have a higher absorption rate than anything on the market space in current measurement. If you look at the supplement industry, typically, and those that have been through my programs already know, I literally tell you whole foods. If you're too short on time, fine, go into supplements. But I also let you know, when you go down that supplement model, you're going to get 5 to 10% of the absorption. So if you need 100% of efficiency and effectiveness, you got to take 10 of those to compound in terms of what will absorb and assimilate into the body. If you're taking that volume, but most of it gets basically blocked out because of the process of assimilation in your digestive tract, your absorption rate is less. And what Jim has and what his team with the best product line, they have an 80 to 90% absorption rate, clinically proven in terms of the time you take it in to the time they draw the blood to see, are these nutrients in? Yeah, that's what's there for you. So what we get to share in terms of what Jim offers is the true cornerstones or building blocks of the body and how to recalibrate that and basically refortify it if it is in a degrade. And if you can get that up to par, you're ready for the rest of the story, which is dealing with the health of your money, the health of your money, and the path that Chris Felton brings to the table in Clarity. He is the author and speaker of Think and Grow You. And as his mastery trainer leads to having solutions that help people quiet the biggest groans that keep fear as an awareness point from planning your money success. And just the word money like triggers people. Just the word financial triggers people. And what Chris brings to the table is a crystal clear path to harnessing your thoughts and allowing them to percolate you into growth mode, right? We're human growth hormone when it comes to your financial health. And there's several things that we go in our compensation course where Chris and his team actually work with us, helping people set up what I consider that exit ramp for both the business owners and employees in their journeys as we get going in our business development and our exit strategy portion of our workshop. Mark Hardcastle, let's just say his ability to share adversity in a usable way to move you out of challenge, that's kind of what he comes in to share with you guys in his book, The Symphony of Your Life. And the Symphony of Your Life is basically about chaos and disorder, much like we're talking about now. But he comes with a caveat, and it's the fact that he is also a coach and consultant for people that don't have a business or desire to tell a story, to share their story. So if you are sitting here and you are watching this and you're like, I don't even have a business, I don't even know. Currently, I'm just dealing with things that are happening. He could be very much a helpful tool for you to get clear on writing the best symphony of your future based on the chaos that you're experiencing right now. So that's just some of what I consider the mastery trainers that are on our wheelhouse, but let's drop it down. Let's drop it like it hot to our reset trainers. Our reset trainers for the mind. Of course, I touched base about Michael Dent. As he is a certified addictions counselor, he is built to and tempered to wear the weight that most people can't stomach that cause them to go into a relapse, that cause them to basically buckle under an unknown. You're trying something new. It'll trigger your fight or flight mechanism like no other. And if you don't have a emergency line and an accountability partner, or you're not in a program that helps you keep that promise to yourself. This is not promising to other people. This is all about you. So he is a wonderful resource there. And his wife, Yelena Dent, my God, they are a force of complementary mind tools, because what she works on is the quantum side. So if you think about that focus tool, Michael's over here on that reality side, and his wife Yelena is over here on the metaphysical side. And she is an expert when it comes to curating a relationship between people, because she helps you master the relationship with yourself first. And that is something that a lot of people don't understand how to approach, but with her techniques, it becomes almost automatic once you adapt the simple concepts that she shares in her training segment. And then we have the wonderful Michael Voltaire. And I had the privilege of meeting him through our initiative, trying our best to find our give back and our heart piece that matched, because what we're dealing with typically are service-based business contractors and or blue collar based businesses. And oftentimes there's a big gap in their worthiness bone because they didn't get a chance to even finish middle school, right? Or let alone high school. And so they mastered their tools, and it can lead to a gap to filling that space with addictive habits. And what we have with Sober Dads is a huge resource of help that Matthew has curated to offer people getting things they need in their state of recovery. He runs a nonprofit organization that has a thrift store. And when you do the things, when you're accountable and you commit, you get access to a credit value of resources within. And not only that, but I mean, for the most part, Sober Dads, I mean, let's go ahead and just say that. Sober Dads. His intention is to empower fathers to be present so they can connect with their kids. And his foundation provides those resources. And we're doing our best to assist him in building more. And everybody that gets a ticket in or participates in our programs are contributing to the rest of the resources that we all get to use. And it's people like Matthew that are pushing the bar on changing what that resource bucket looks like. Because when I talked to him about his business model, I saw it. And if you see it and two agree, it's done. Don't ask how long, and don't ask how or when or how it's just know. When he shared with me his vision, I saw it all together. I saw the components. I saw his center that calls people to build connections. And so I'm really very excited about helping him, because he's an early stage nonprofit founder, and it takes some gusto to actually put that heart piece and be vulnerable enough to say, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And that's why I'm so joyful to have him a part. Other trainers coming aboard, again, as your fundamentals trainer. Now we're going on the left side, the fundamentals trainer. All right. We just went through the right side of all of the woo woo, softy, blah, blah, blah stuff where we can basically manipulate. But the other side, this is reality in terms of your business planning. So our fundamental trainers that we have here are intended to help you with the implementation side of our implementation syllabus, where we go over the organization, the management, and the compensation. And each one of those has a pop out of courses and or side details. And our trainers are meant to help you understand the importance. So myself, I'm a mastery trainer, but I'm also a fundamentals trainer. We're helping you adopt those core metrics between your mindset, your leadership, your marketing skill set, and weaving those into the implementation segment, which goes into our organization, our management, and our compensation. And right here we have Chris Ward, because he is a conduit to multiple resources on the side when we get to the implementation of your organization and the management side and the compensation, which has we'll call it the wheelhouse of your HR circle. And having somebody you can call to actually do some checking and take a look at your business documents, things like that, it's a huge resource to basically work with our fractional services and our on-demand support, but take that information and pass it through what I call the inspectors. Not that there's any governance there, but it's nice to have a third party or another third set of eyes to give you an adjustment, to be like, man, those terms you guys drafted up, in your workshop, this, that, and the other. For your type of business, we may want to think about this little clause or this little thing over here. Guys, I do the best I can to fly on all areas. And if I get to sit with you and we get to build out those commitment points of your terms, chances are we're going to have more covered than anybody could think of. But it's nice to run it through for positioning certain words and phrases, because words are meaningful. And if you're a counselor, you know the power of the word, and putting one word over here on the other side will change the whole interpretation of it. So that's what I love about Chris Ward and how passionate he is about providing access to this very needed and underused resource, because even on a personal side, to call about, let's just say, a traffic ticket, let alone like your business stuff, like just say yes to us. Say yes to doing it together. And then, of course, we have Michael Valdez, who is one of, I consider, God's gifts to this planet when it comes to helping the interface of technology work with humans. And his skill set is what I consider the best of the best in technology expression as a technology architect and engineer. So he comes in to run our department on technology for our custom softwares that we have offered in our program. If you are in the program, you are already on tip. You already know it's the most valuable thing. You already understand the clarity it's giving you. If you're in a different type of business, we work with many types of businesses. Not all of them are service-based. We are actually able to help tailor a tool that you already have and make it better, or build you an expression of it that's really custom for you and has some flexibility in terms of your value delivery of service or product. So going over those trainers and the next wheelhouse of fun, we have Unleashing the Power of Storytelling with Andrew. And as we take a look, and this is so fun, and I'm zooming in because Andrew is very much an inside teammate of ours. He is in our media team. He does a lot of curation, but he is a master when it comes to storytelling. And the storytelling that he is telling is yours. It's your story. It's the most important, let me just say, it's the most important thing that your business can have as an asset, to tell the truth about why you versus other businesses. Because listen, a cake is a cake is a cake. A bakery shop is a bakery shop. But there's an infusement of you that goes into your business recipe, and his storytelling assists you in that execution effectively, so we could repurpose it and position your brand in a new place and space based on a margin that you're wanting to achieve. Everything is sector based. Everything is margin based. And I geek out on that stuff, guys. So as we're looking at that, then we have Anthony and his team support with Perry. I don't have a picture of Perry here, but if Anthony basically is in our website team, and between him and Perry, they work with Michael up top here to automate and to integrate HR portals, to implement process support in terms of your service operating procedure. So there's lots of things that we can document, but also automate and integrate between technology build outs. So that's just kind of, I guess, if I'm going to speak about people that are bringing more value with our collective, I can't forget that we have the wonderful David B. And so the wonderful David B comes in a way to help me deliver to everybody better, more organized, and with more ease and more consistency. Because if you've been in my programs, everybody that is in my program, we get spinning, and I literally will drop out a whole cylinder because I have to do breakaways. Today was a great example. I literally was between Evergreen to Morrison to Lone Tree to Denver back to Aurora, I didn't have enough time to properly set this up in a way to make it successful. And so what you're experiencing today is what David is able to help us in refinement to be better as an organization, to deliver you what you have been asking for. And I have failed repeatedly to do, which is offer that clarity to you. And it's not that we don't have it. It's that I'm only one person. And I myself am adapting the growth metrics and pain points that all my clients, all our firm's clients experience. Our firm goes through them too, right with you. And we're right in that switch gear, as we have had more clients come on this year than any other year. It has forced us to follow our own advice and to create clarity and grow with you guys. And I couldn't be more proud to wear that weight with you and to be a roller underneath, so we can just keep carrying along. That's what I got to share with you guys.
Well, I think you covered them beautifully. That really runs down exactly who's going to be at the conference and what we're going to be going over, what we're covering. But I think the question that everyone is asking is, how do I get a ticket to the conference?
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you would like, I would be happy to share that with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely willing to share that with everybody. Those that are already in our programs, you already know you got your tickets and or registrations and live stream fun. But those that are new to this or just listen and learning, run it down, David.
Perfect. So we covered that we want to do the fast track. So let's go exactly into what this full package looks like. Because the one thing that we've been mentioning is that what sets Bring More Value apart from any other business out there is that it's not just teaching. We've said it's going to be a conference a handful of times, but this is so much more than a conference. This is a full business accelerator package. You're not just getting a ticket to learn some stuff. You're getting money to put towards that fractional services, where you can actually use it to grow your business and not just sit there, take notes for 3 days and go do it eventually later, hopefully. We are here to implement. So this is the fastest way to scale, automate, and take control of your business, because it is a complete transformation system designed for you if you are a serious entrepreneur. You're going to get hands-on support to build and scale. And it's, again, just you're no longer have to do it alone. You get to have a dedicated team handling the hard stuff in whatever way that looks like to you. Now, what you're going to get is you're going to get a bunch of business and growth tools for execution. The most valuable tip, contractor performance software. This is a $500 a year program that you're just going to get access to.
$500 a month. The subscription on that software is $500 a month.
$500 a month software that you're going to get access to. And that's real-time automation and tracking to simplify and scale your business. You're going to get a 30-day VIP fast track business support. So this is $2,500 worth of value that you get to put directly into your business with hands-on, done-for-you implementation across 11 areas of expertise. This is one-on-one guidance from marketing, automation, operations, and scaling specialists. You will not find this level of support for the price of a conference ticket anywhere else. And this is by far, worth the cost alone. But because it is Bring More Value, you're going to get even more. So forget doing it alone, because you now have an expert team working directly on your business. You're also going to get a done-for-you website and online business support from Anthony Pritchard. So $200 worth of value that you get to put directly into your website. There's a lot, so I'm going to go kind of fast. You also get a professional marketing and branding boost from Andrew, and that's going to be 25% off, which is up to about $2,000. You're also going to get a wealth and legal support bundle. So this is going to be a financial strategy and wealth coaching with Chris Felton, which is again another $500 value. That's going to help you learn how to scale your revenue, build your wealth, and break through the financial ceilings. You get a credit towards a month of your Legal Shield business protection, which I personally think is one of the most important things everyone needs. A lot of times we have all of these problems in our businesses, and sometimes it's often a legal problem, not just a money problem. But this is a legal coverage and support to safeguard your business. And then the physical and mental domination kit. We've got to get the mind right. We've got to get the body right. So you get a one-on-one counseling session with the Michael Dent to work with a professional licensed counselor, which will help you remove those personal and mindset roadblocks. But then you're also going to get a 30-day supply of that Secret Mental Clarity Kit from Dr. Jim Rhodes. And that's going to help you optimize for clarity, focus, and energy. When you have the energy, when you feel good, when you know what to do, you can optimize your business so much better. Then you're also going to get a mix and match of 3 white knuckle products, which can help reduce inflammation and stress to perform at your highest level. And you're also going to get a hard copy back of Symphony of Your Life from Mark Hardcastle to help you transform your perspective, focus, and resilience. And then the biggest thing here is that we give back. So a portion of all profits go into the Micro Works Foundation, which is something we're very passionate about, because we all know that the contractors and the service professionals have been a neglected industry. And Micro is specifically trying to bring back and really balance the business world back in our country. And he helps fund skilled trades education and workforce development. It's an amazing organization. And we're also putting a $50 donation into the Sober Dads nonprofit for you with the investment in one of our tickets. And because when you grow, you give back. And when you give, you grow up. Now, so that basically covers all of the aspects of this package. It's legal, financial, and business protection, mindset and high performance coaching, business growth tools and execution, as well as the foundational support of the conference, which is the training. And like I mentioned at the beginning, if you were going to hire different people in your business to do these things, you've probably done it and you've lost money by either not finding the right person or they quit or you're too dependent on them and then they leave or something happens. So this is easily $50,000 to $100,000 worth of value without question. If you're a business owner, you know that, but we all hate the top-down selling, right? So I'm not going to put an arbitrarily high number on here. This is really, if you were to get all of this stuff individually in the Bring More Value team, this is about a $5,700 investment. Yep. And you're not going to do that today. So all we're asking for to revamp your business, the investment is just $24.97. So.
Well, shoot, David. It sounds like it's free. I'm not going to wait. I just realized it actually is free. No. I just realized this, David. This shit's actually free because you get $2,500 towards your fractional. So all you're doing is basically pre-paving the support you're getting from our fractional services department. All of the other things, it's okay. So this is free, is what you're saying? This is basically free because this $2,500 is actually money I'd be spending anyway next month as I go and hire all of these different people that are not connected or synchronized to help me float higher. So what you're saying is this is free? Exactly right. Oh dear. This is amazing. And I'm being facetious and tongue in cheek about it because we were intentional about this. We were intentional to weave something together that gave you what you needed and what you wanted at a way that's mutually beneficial and reciprocal to every single party involved. That's how we did it. That's how we did it.
The biggest thing, you know, what really sets this apart from everything else is you will never find anything at this level of professionalism, at this level of depth of support in a business anywhere near this cost. And like, go look. You're not even, you know, you can't get it. It doesn't exist anywhere else except here. And so that's why I'm really excited to be a part of this team. And as we're watching, you know, new people come into this business and just get completely transformed, it's incredible. And everyone has access to this right now.
Right now. And because I just realized that we just actually made this free, I think it's important that people understand, what does that feel like to receive something of such a great value at a exchange that you were going to do anyway, just in chaos and in confusion. So what I have for you all is honestly some things that we want to share in terms of people's experience and what they have received to this point. If you guys head to our bringmorevalue.com/reviews page, you're going to see several different views, but I'm going to pick a very specific one for you all, because this one's relevant given the fact that this gentleman never even paid a dime, never even did anything in terms of a program, a service, but we were able to assist him in changing the course of his life, and the fact that now he changes the course of other people's lives. Bear with me while I get her queued up.
You know, Amanda's there to help. I think when she was explaining the funnel system and all of the things, you know, that leak out of the funnel and kind of what's left and how that little bit kind of gets dispersed, was one of the things that really stuck in my mind. And then, you know, she kind of dived in a little bit on kind of governmental stuff, what we're paying for and how it kind of separates and how it helps having someone help you navigate that. It came the time where I really needed to make a decision on whether or not I was actually going to move to Washington or stay in Colorado and then, you know, start my own name. I talked to Amanda because she's the most intelligent person I knew that when it came to like money and, you know, the way a business is supposed to operate. And so I reached out to her and was like, I know you run classes and there's the fees and whatnot. And, you know, my financial situation isn't the best, but do you think maybe we can discuss like some business stuff and whatnot? And she was like, oh yeah, let's just have a napkin talk. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, napkin talk. And she just sat me down and kind of gave me the gist of how a business operates and kind of what you need to run it, and just did it on a whole napkin. It was one of the most useful things to my decision. And so I really did appreciate the napkin time. And, you know, now seeing her progress and grow, the bring more value aspect is really nice. And I hope I get to come back to Colorado here soon and take one of the classes, because I have now since actually gone solo. Always had Amanda in the back of my mind, like, do more, do more. You can bring more value to your life. You know, I'm teaching at a tech college now, and so I hope that I can get Amanda out here to maybe talk to some of the students, especially the ones, because, you know, we get salesmen and people trying to go into their own business or people partnering with other people. And I try to give them, you know, the most knowledge that I know. And I know that they need to hear from Amanda. You know, a lot of these guys, they need structure, just like I needed structure. And Amanda is here to help you build it up.
Essentially, that's what I wanted to share with you guys, because what you're looking at is a mirror reflection of you. You don't know me from Adam. Neither did Daniel. I met him because I like roller skating, and went to a roller skating party, and we connected. And I have no intentions other than helping the people that God sends across my path. And I am not to question when or how, but if they come and they ask, I am to reciprocate and answer that helps them along their journey. And so I shared this particular video because I will be going out to Washington, and Daniel has invited me out to the trade schools out there so I can continue sharing these fundamental practices to even more contractors in a format that's not within my wheelhouse. I'm usually live stream and I'm in my private courses. So this is how we change the world together. This is how we affect our own lives and improve the quality of it while rising others with us. And I said this in that last live stream that we did in February, and I'll finish this live stream with it. All boats rise together that are tied together, but only if they carve a V and have a hole of value can they displace and then float. So don't tie yourself to things that don't have a value, because it is that displacement that allows us to create that effective all boats rise together thought process. And as fast as anybody has a value, we love to basically take your value of what you know on the surface, which I call your party platform, and go ahead and craft underneath to your boat so you can bilge it out and turn your party platform into a cigar boat, and we go skating down. There's a process to that. Our team would love to be the pontoons underneath your party boat platform. And with that said, I do hope you join us for the Mental Reset Conference on April 4th. It is going to be 3 days, and all of it is going to be a library that's going to be available for you all to rewatch and to master, because it's not enough to know. We must use that knowledge to the point where it's automated and we can go on autopilot to our destination.
I love it. I'm excited to see everyone as well. And so go get your ticket right now. So mentalresetchallenge.com. And we are going to be waiting for you. You only have a few days to get this and to show up and be ready. So get it right now, and we'll see you all there.
Yes, sir. Have a great night and a great weekend.